Today, we will learn about the issue that's shaking the very foundation of Forrester Creations and sending shockwaves through the legacy of the bold and the beautiful. We're diving into secrets buried for decades, a mysterious heir, a mother with a sinister past, and a dynasty on the brink of internal war. This is the story of Eric Forrester's long-lost child, the young woman named Elise, and the fallout that could change everything for the Forrester family. The drama begins when Eric Forrester, John McCook, the patriarch of the Forrester family and founder of the global fashion empire Forrester Creations, discovers an old, forgotten version of his will tucked away in a secured private file. What he finds inside is nothing short of explosive, a clause indicating that 30% of his shares in the company are to be granted to a previously unacknowledged child born out of wedlock, with no name attached. The language is vague, the identity of the child unknown, but the legal wording is airtight. This revelation turns Eric's world upside down. For decades, the family believed the Forrester lineage was secure. Ridge, Steffi, Thomas, and the rest of the dynasty had always assumed that the company's future would remain in the family. But now, a new heir may exist. One with a legal right to a significant chunk of the company. And worse, no one knows who or where this person is. The news doesn't stay private for long. Once Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, learn of the clause, the two jump into immediate action. Despite their turbulent past, Brooke and Ridge team up, determined to uncover the truth behind Eric's mysterious child. They begin combing through old records, speaking with past employees, and diving into Eric's timeline from more than 30 years ago, searching for gaps, unknown travels, or any name that could lead them to the child in question. Then, just as suddenly as the mystery begins, an answer walks through the door, escorted, of course, by none other than Sheila Carter, Kimberlin Brown. Sheila, who is never far from chaos, introduces a young woman named Elise to the Forresters. Elise, poised, confident, and disarmingly calm, claims to be the biological daughter of Eric Forrester. She produces DNA test results confirming a 99.9% match. Every piece of evidence appears legitimate. She doesn't come in shouting or demanding. Instead, she makes it clear that she's not interested in money or power. Her only desire, she says, is to be acknowledged as part of the family. She wants to know her father, to understand where she comes from, and to find her place within the Forrester legacy. Eric, stunned and shaken, isn't sure what to believe. The tests are hard to deny, and something in Elise's manner seems genuine. But he also knows that Sheila is involved, and that raises every red flag possible. For years, Sheila has manipulated her way into the Forrester family, using deceit, blackmail, and even violence to get what she wants. Now, after years in the shadows, she has returned, not demanding, not threatening, but presenting a seemingly perfect candidate to claim a third of the company. For those who know her, that's far more terrifying than if she'd arrived guns blazing. Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, and Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, are the first to raise concerns. Thomas, known for his own manipulative tendencies in the past, instantly spots a strategy. He believes Elise is being used by Sheila to gain power, not just in the boardroom, but in the family itself. Steffi, who has long been Sheila's most vocal opponent, is even more direct. She accuses Sheila of engineering the entire situation to insert a puppet into the Forrester inner circle, one who can sway decisions, vote on leadership, and disrupt the future they've all worked to secure. Brooke isn't sure what to believe. She wants to support Eric, and she knows better than anyone how fragile the family can become when secrets rise to the surface. She also knows what it means to be shunned, to be doubted. She watches Elise closely, trying to read between the lines. Is this young woman really just looking for a father? Or is she playing a game with one of the most dangerous players the show has ever seen? Meanwhile, Ridge becomes obsessed with getting to the truth. He begins digging into Eric's past with more intensity than ever. He tracks old business trips from 30 years ago. He talks to women Eric was involved with. And finally, he uncovers a name, a woman Eric had a brief affair with while traveling abroad for a fashion expo in the late 1980s. She died several years ago, but she had a daughter. That daughter? Elise. The timeline matches. The DNA confirms it. And even Eric, reluctantly, starts to believe it could be true. But belief isn't enough. With Elise now validated as a legal heir, the clause in the old will comes back to life. She now has a legal claim to 30% of Forrester Creations, a seismic shift that sends waves through the corporate structure. Lawyers begin reviewing the implications. If Elise chooses to exercise her rights, she could unseat board members, override strategic decisions, and, if backed by others, even change leadership. And that's exactly what Thomas and Steffi fear. They see Elise's calm exterior as a smokescreen, a means to earn trust while Sheila pulls the strings behind the scenes. Sheila, they argue, isn't interested in money. She wants power, control, access. And with Elise in place, she has a path straight into the heart of the company. Eric finds himself in an impossible position. He wants to believe in Elise. He sees his features in hers, hears a familiar tone in her voice. He wants to welcome her. But he also knows the cost of being wrong. Steffi and Thomas push for a board vote to delay any formal recognition until a full investigation into Sheila's involvement is conducted. Ridge agrees, torn between protecting his father's legacy and honoring his newly revealed half-sister's rights. Elise, surprisingly, does not protest. She agrees to the delay. She claims she has nothing to hide. She tells the family that if they need time to trust her, she's willing to wait. But she won't go away. She's here. She's Eric's daughter. And one way or another, she'll be part of this family. Behind the scenes, Sheila begins moving quietly. She reaches out to Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, trying to use her marriage to him as a public image shield. She wants to appear legitimate, reformed, stable. She warns him that if the Forresters try to shut Elise out, things could get ugly. She's waited too long to be connected to the family again, and this time, she's playing the long game. The Forrester family splinters under the pressure. Brooke tries to mediate. Ridge demands transparency. Steffi begins planning contingencies. Thomas makes private inquiries into Sheila's finances, trying to find any proof of manipulation. Eric, for the first time in his life, begins to doubt not only those around him, but himself. Could he really have fathered a child and forgotten? Could a night from 3 decades ago come back now, not with scandal, but with truth? The question remains, is Elise the innocent daughter seeking a father? Or is she the latest pawn in Sheila Carter's endless war on the Forrester family? And most importantly, what happens next? With 30% of the company at stake, alliances shifting, and old wounds reopened, the stage is set for a corporate and emotional showdown unlike anything the bold and the beautiful has seen in years. Keep watching, because this story is far from over. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Elise is genuine? Or is she playing the Forresters with Sheila's help? Should Eric embrace her or protect his legacy? Let's talk. Today, we will learn about the issue that's taking center stage in the bold and the beautiful, a storyline that mixes heartbreak, healing, and the possibility of new beginnings. Carter Walton's dream of becoming a father might finally be coming true, and Hope Logan could be the one to make it happen. Let's break it down and go deep into the plot without wasting any time. After a series of turbulent events and emotional detours, Hope Logan, Annika Noel, has taken a bold leap of faith by accepting Carter Walton's, Lawrence St. Victor, engagement ring and agreeing to become his wife. It's not just a romantic gesture, It's a signal of a possible new chapter not only for her, but for Carter, Beth, and potentially a child yet to come. At first glance, this engagement appears to be a stabilizing move after the roller coaster that has defined Hope's personal life. She's been through emotional devastation, most recently with the looming health crisis surrounding Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. His grim diagnosis has rocked her world, and while their relationship has been complicated for years, Liam remains the father of her daughter, Beth, and a deeply significant part of her heart. But now, with Liam's future hanging by a thread, Hope is trying to look ahead toward a life where stability, partnership, and emotional safety are prioritized. That's where Carter comes in. Carter has positioned himself as the rock Hope needs. He's calm, dependable, and unwavering in his affection. More than anything, Carter has made it clear he wants to build a family with Hope, not just for now, but forever. He's promised to be the best husband he can be, to support Beth with love and structure, and to create a peaceful life far removed from the betrayals and instability that have haunted Hope's past. However, there's one more dream Carter quietly holds onto, having a child of his own. And that dream might finally be within reach. Sources close to the bold and the beautiful storyline hint that this possibility is becoming more than just a wish. It's shaping up to be the next big development. Carter's desire for fatherhood is not a secret, and now that he and Hope are officially engaged, it seems only natural that this topic would surface. Hope's trust in Carter is still fragile. Her heart has been through too much to open itself fully without reservation. But she's made a choice to believe in Carter, to give this union a real chance. To commit not only in words, but in spirit. Her engagement is not a facade. It's a first step toward healing and rebuilding, both for her and for Beth. Beth, still a young girl processing the tension in her family, stands to gain a stable and supportive environment, one where Carter plays a key role. Carter is not trying to replace Liam. What he wants is to support Beth with integrity and consistency, becoming the figure in her life who brings peace and reassurance. With Douglas Forrester still away with Thomas Forrester, Beth's emotional world has shifted, and Carter's presence could become a grounding force. But as Hope begins to embrace this new direction, she knows there are layers of grief that haven't yet unfolded. Liam's condition, a ticking clock over her emotional life, is forcing her to reevaluate everything. The thought of losing him, of having to explain his absence to Beth, of living in a world where he's just a memory, it's a heavy, relentless ache. One that doesn't fade easily. And it's in this space of sorrow and uncertainty that the idea of new life begins to form. Hope has considered the possibility of having another child before. It wasn't a foreign idea. But now, as her world reshapes itself around Carter, and as the finality of Liam's situation looms larger, the idea takes on new meaning. Not as a replacement, never that, but as a way to bring hope back into a world suddenly filled with so much darkness. Carter's dream might align perfectly with Hope's need to rebuild. There are whispers that soon after the wedding, or possibly even during it, Hope may present Carter with the ultimate gift, the promise of a child. Whether it's a quiet conversation the night of their vows, a toast at the reception, or a dramatic announcement mid-ceremony, Carter may soon learn that the family he's dreamed of is closer than ever. Even more shocking, it's possible Hope is already pregnant. In true soap fashion, such a twist would inject emotional intensity into the story. Imagine the moment Carter hears the news, stunned, overwhelmed, joyous. After years of watching others build families, watching love slip through his fingers, he would finally have something to call his own. A future, a child, a legacy. Hope might see this as a way to honor life, even as she grieves another. If Liam is truly lost, the emotional void will be devastating. Giving life to someone new could feel like a small way to reclaim control, to steer her grief into something tangible, something real. It's not about erasing Liam, it's about surviving him. Of course, it won't be smooth sailing. This is the bold and the beautiful. The show has already teased that hard moments lie ahead. Grief is unpredictable. Carter's perfect vision of love may clash with Hope's slow emotional recovery. Beth will have questions, and those around Hope, especially Brooke, Ridge, and Steffi, may have opinions. The future will be layered with emotional triggers and tests of loyalty. But Carter is determined to be patient. He wants not just a wedding and a baby, but a true partnership. He understands the weight Hope is carrying, and he's not pushing, not forcing. Just quietly, steadily, waiting for her to be ready. And Hope? She's discovering a new kind of strength. A quieter strength. Not the kind that rushes into love with burning passion, but the kind that chooses to believe in new possibilities, even when it hurts. The kind that finds hope after heartbreak. If she truly decides to start trying for a child, or if she's already carrying one, it will mark a major turning point in her story. No longer the woman defined by the men around her. Hope will step into motherhood for the second time with her own terms, her own purpose. It won't be about rescuing Carter from loneliness or compensating for the loss of Liam. It will be about building something new, from a place of conscious choice. The coming weeks on The Bold and the Beautiful are expected to explore these themes in detail. Carter and Hope's wedding will be a major storyline, but what happens after the vows might define the next chapter for both characters. Will Hope give Carter the family he's always longed for? Will a new child help her heal from the heartbreak of losing Liam? Will Carter's dreams come true, or will reality test them beyond their limits? One thing is certain, the future is changing. A new family may be on the horizon. And the next generation of The Bold and the Beautiful could begin with Hope, Carter, and a baby who represents more than just life, but redemption, resilience, and rebirth. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest twists and turns. What do you think? Will Hope and Carter build the family they've both dreamed of? Or will the past once again haunt their future? Let's talk.